Beautiful here, and then the people, you know, the people in the land are kind of the same person, and that same beauty comes up through the people. And this morning we went to out Canondichet and Seyi and walked around, and it was when I first started writing poetry when I was a student at the University of New Mexico, and some of the people I went to school with I think are here, and we were part of the Kiva Club, and we're working for justice, working for love, you know, for compassion. And at that time I started learning the Navajo language because we had to do, to graduate we needed a foreign language. Of course, Navajo is not a foreign language, but they took it instead. So I always equate when I started writing poetry with running around in this land as we were running around with all my friends, and the beauty in the Navajo language, which is poetry in and of itself. And so I want to say, my pronunciation's not great, and thank you. And my name is Joy Harjo. Harjo is a family name, and it means so brave you're crazy. And then Joy. And I was born in Tulsa, Oklahoma, which is in the Muskogee Creek Nation. Even though it's a city, it's still in the Muskogee Creek Nation. West of the Mississippi. Our peoples are originally from Alabama, Georgia. There are still some Muskogee people there, or Creek, I should say Creek. And but we still have the language up in Oklahoma, although they come up to our ceremonies and are, you know, going back. I'm a member of the Kacha clan and of the Tallahassee Waigogai ceremonial grounds. Anyway, when I come back here, I have this place it's always opened my heart, you know, and we have connections that, you know, we just have connections, you know, and you never know where you'll find them. And I spent a lot of time here and doing concerts, and I came here when I was first writing poetry, when my daughter Rainey was a 1-year-old baby. She had her first birthday out there in the dorms for a summer conference. We had Simon Ortiz, Leslie Silko, a lot of people came out here and started writing, and I remember we got to go hear this old guy. He's long past, I guess, curly mustache, this guy who was talking, and we got to listen to his stories. So I'm really happy to be here. And I'm going to start with this piece called, I call it My House is the Red Earth. And it's in honor, it's in honor of this beautiful land. My house is the red earth. It could be the center of the world. I've heard New York, Paris, Tokyo called the center of the world. But I say it's magnificently humble. You could drive by and miss it. Radio waves can obscure it. Words cannot construct it, for there are some sounds left to sacred wordless form. For instance, that fool crow picking through trash near the corral understands the center of the world as greasy scraps of fat. Just ask him. He doesn't have to say that the earth has turned scarlet through fierce belief after centuries of heartbreak and laughter. He perches on the blue bowl of the sky and laughs. If you look with the mind of the swirling earth in your shipwreck, you become the land beautiful. And understand how 3 crows at the edge of the highway laughing become 3 crows at the edge of the world, laughing. Don't bother the earth spirit who lives here. She is working on a story, and it's the oldest story in the world, and it is delicate, changing. She'll invite you in for coffee, give you warm bread, and you will be obligated to stay forever. Forever and ever. And you will be obligated to stay forever. Wait, yeah. You will be obligated to stay and you will be obligated to stay and listen, but this is no ordinary story. You will have to endure earthquakes, lightning, floods, the deaths of all those you love, the most blinding beauty. It's a story so compelling, you may never want to leave. This is how she traps you. See that stone finger over there? That is the only one who ever escaped. This next one is, it opens up, I wrote a one-woman show. I have a musician with me. It combines music, singing, everything. And I work with Larry Mitchell on that. And I opened it. It's actually a healing ceremony, but it's in stories. It's the story of a woman who has hit bottom. She's in a car wreck because she's drinking. And so she goes to the spirit helper to help her heal. And the spirit helper tells her that if she's going to heal, that she has to go back to the beginning, to the very beginning, and collect these stories to these places where she's lost her power. And so the first story then goes way, 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 way back, which is actually happening right now. And it's a rabbit story. In my people, rabbit is the trickster figure, you know, like coyote or coyote with you guys. With us, it's rabbit. And so this is one of those, it's written in the tradition, in the Muskogee tradition, but it's very contemporary. Some things don't change, as you can tell. In a world long before this one, there was enough for everyone until somebody got out of line. We heard it was Rabbit, fooling around with clay in the wind. Everybody was tired of his tricks, and no one would play with him, and he was lonely in this world. So Rabbit thought to make a person. And when he blew into the mouth of that crude figure to see what would happen, the clay man stood up. Rabbit showed the clay man how to steal a chicken. The clay man obeyed. Then he showed him how to steal corn. The clay man obeyed. Then he showed him how to steal someone else's wife. The clay man obeyed. Rabbit felt important and powerful, and clay man felt important and powerful, and once that clay man started, he could not stop. Once he took that chicken, he wanted all the chickens. Once he took that corn, he wanted all the corn, and once he took that wife, oh, well, he wanted all the wives. He was insatiable. Then he had a taste of gold, and he wanted all the gold. Then it was land or anything else he saw. His wanting only made him want more. Soon it was countries. Then it was trade. The wanting infected the earth. We lost track of the purpose and meaning of life. We began to forget our songs, our stories. We could no longer see or hear our ancestors or talk with each other across the kitchen table. Forests were being mowed down all over the world to make more. And Rabbit had no place to play. Rabbit's trick had backfired. Rabbit tried to call the clay man back, but when that clay man wouldn't listen, Rabbit realized he'd made a clay man with no ears.